Hey, it's been a while. And by a while, I mean that it's been over a year since my last upload. Welcome back to 230media Studio. Or if this is your first time watching, hello. My name is Lawrence and I listen to a lot of music. In the past, I've broken down a production by some of my favorite songs by my favorite artists. But today, I want to try and step outside of my comfort zone, and instead create some music that's inspired by my favorite artists. Here are the three that I've chosen for this video. We have the Marias,
Maybe I lost my mind.
Wave to Earth,
Pray for you.
and Mk.gee.
Are you looking up? You ask me why.
And I've sort of ordered them based on the difficulty I think I'll have trying to recreate their styles. So without further ado, let's begin with
I'll wait here tomorrow.
two songs that I love by the Marias are Sienna
The temper like you, run around like you.
and We're the Lucky Ones.
I know it hurts, but if only for today we've gotta love.
So for the song that I made, I drew inspiration from both. I started by coming up with a Marias-esque chord progression on my guitar, drawing some inspiration from the one that can be heard in Sienna. Next, I played in a simple drum pattern using my keyboard. I'm producing in GarageBand, so I just used one of their drum kits, as the Marias tend to use real drum sounds, oftentimes in patterns that are generally on the simpler side. I also did some quantizing, which is essentially just making sure every sound is on beat, and also played around with the note velocities, making some sounds quieter. After that, I loaded up a GarageBand synth pad and played in a simple melody for some ambiance. If you listen to a bunch of songs by the Marias, you'll come to realize that they use a revolving door of instruments. But the one thing that is constant is the atmosphere. It's very mysterious and airy and emotional, and I'm trying to recreate this effect with this drowned out synth. Then I forgot to record for the rest of the day and filled out the track off camera. Yeah, that's on me. I duplicated the guitar track and put some heavy effects on one, and kept the other clean. And then I layered them together. I also changed the ride in the drum pattern to a closed hi-hat. Now I wanted these drums to sound less perfect and artificial, so I used a plugin called OCS45 by Spectral, which is essentially a free, more limited version of RC20 Retrocolor, which costs $60 to give it this vintage sound. It's tagged as a cassette simulator, so if you feed audio into it, it will emulate a sound like that of an old cassette. I just played around with the presets until I found a sound I liked. I also added a guitar intro, a guitar solo, these guitar accents, and some vocals, though I'm not especially good at singing. I saw you last night, I'll cry, I think about you still. Left, right, and us fights, that means that we'll be friends. You left me in quick little editor's note. So I'm listening to this about a month later, and this doesn't really sound like me singing. I'm having trouble trying to explain it. It's probably because I'm not used to singing on genres like this, but it sounds so uncanny. Am I still proud of these vocals? Kind of. They sort of sound like a fish out of water, if that makes sense. I'll probably make another one of these sort of videos in a little bit, so I'll try to pick artists that better suit my voice then, but, you know, it is what it is. Just thought I should say something about this. So, long story short, these vocals suck. And that's basically it. If you want to listen to the full song, I'll have all three that I'm making this video linked in the description, though I'll probably make some changes to this version. Anyways, next up we have Wave to Earth is a Korean indie pop band with rock, jazz, and lo-fi influences. You might have heard their song Seasons before.
If I could be by your side, I'll give you all my life, my seasons.
Now, I want to take a different approach this time around. I began by playing around on my keyboard, trying to come up with some sort of melody or chord progression that I wanted to build my song around. I knew that I wanted a really aesthetic and emotional sounding piano piece at the center of my song that could really draw on the listener's heartstrings. So after about 10 minutes of playing, I ended up with this idea. I played it again into GarageBand and laid the real recording, which I EQ'd pretty heavily because it was recorded on my phone, on top of the digital one. I thought it sounded nice, but I wanted some more fullness in the song. So I brought out a GarageBand flute mellotron, which, if I heard correctly, was used in Seasons, or at least something similar to it. I basically just copied the progression from the piano and added some notes here and there. I found that this little chord change from this F sharp minor to this A minor 6 evoked a pretty strong wave to earth feeling, if that makes sense. I barely know any music theory, so I can't really explain it. And after this, I added some simple drums. Then, I didn't record again, but this time, it was on purpose. I spent probably close to a week trying to finish this track off screen. Here's a quick recap of what I did. I added some guitar chords to accompany the piano, and panned two separate recordings left and right. I added a nice, clean guitar lead for the chorus section, and played the same melody in a higher octave, overlapping all of the recordings. This created a simple but very pleasing to the ears effect. I duplicated this for the outro, but ran all of the recordings through a distorted amp. I also changed the drums, trying to give the song more of a groove. And lastly, I put in a simple synth line on top that I correlated with the piano melody for some atmosphere. I also tried adding vocals, but it kind of felt like they weren't really needed on the song, so I took them out. Here's what they sounded like. Oh, wind in the fields, slipping away from my grasp. But if you just grab my hand, the skies will turn gray and shadow my face. And yeah, that's the song. This one was challenging, kind of felt like I forced myself into a box is what I started with, and I had trouble trying to expand on the original idea. But once again, it will be linked in the description if you would like to listen. And Wave to Earth fans, I do apologize. I pretty much gave up on this track after a week. But that's all for this section. Because finally, we have...
She's dancing around like nobody's watching.
No, I'm just gonna be honest. I've already taken on the challenge of trying to recreate a Mk.gee song a couple of months back. Here's how my experiment turned out.
She walks around. Wanted to tell the truth, just as they've
Mixing aside, I personally think that the songs came out pretty okay. So for this go around, instead of putting so much of my effort into replicating his style and throwing myself into a creative box like I did with the Wave to Earth section, I wanted to take some inspiration from his music and apply it to my own style. Am I cheating on a video idea? Maybe, but come on. Of course, I started with some guitar. I laid down some pretty simple chords, then added some embellishments here and there. I'm using a pretty simple, clean tone. Not really something Mk.gee would use, and to be honest, I really don't know why I didn't work on the tone some more, but I promise I'm trying. Next, I added some drums, throwing some OCS 45 on top to make it sound vintage. After this, I did some synth sounds to try and give it more of a Mk.gee feel and atmosphere. I ran these through a guitar amp to make them more distorted and experimental. I automated the position on this RAM pedal. You can see it here. So that it comes in right when the drums drop. If there's a thing that I'm most proud of from this video, it's definitely this synth effect, and I'll probably end up using it in the future. That was the bulk of the production. I ended up revisiting it a day later, completely altering the drums to fit Mk.gee's style more. And threw on some vocals. Days getting longer, feeling much too easy. I left it on the shelf, got a bad feeling. Just figured I'd leave this here. I added a heavy amount of OCS 45 to them, because I feel like it fits the vibe of the song better. And that's it. Once again, all 3 songs will be linked in the description below if you'd like to give any of them a listen. And honestly, this video was so hard to make. I haven't released anything on YouTube in such a long time, and I've been continually workshopping this video for the past month and a half. But hey, it's here, and I'm sorry for the wait. I promise that the next video will not take an entire year to come out. It might be out in like a month. I'm definitely going to revisit this idea in the future, so if you're interested, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and threw some artist suggestions down below. I will also be posting on my other channels. This one's focused on music and movies. This one on basketball. I'll be talking about movies and things on this one. And this one, I don't know yet. But hey, it feels good to be back. Thank you for watching and have a good one.